Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR Today, Monday morning. We're coming into the end of June. It's June 28th, 2021, the man they call Meathead, and the returning, somewhat hoarse, Linda Kay. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Meathead. I think this has been a common trend. I just must be so busy out there utilizing my voice, which is great, though, because
Yeah.
it is for wrestling. We love that.
Yeah. I mean, you're killing it out there. I mean, big brand sponsor of Collar and Elbow, big, participant down in OVW. And, before we get into Collar and Elbow stuff, who is our sponsor, I want to know exactly what happened at Cage Carnage this last weekend.
Oh, it was a huge weekend down in Louisville for OVW. I was there for most of the week. We had our OVW TV show Thursday night, just setting up the huge matches for the big pay-per-view Saturday night, Chained Carnage. Then we had a house show south in Kentucky, just maybe about an hour north of Nashville, that I got to ring announce doing a house show for OVW, which is a great time. Statewide house shows as well, which led up to the pay-per-view Saturday. And my goodness, Meathead, it was a hot crowd. I mean, not just temperature-wise. It was really moist and sticky in there.
Wait. To say those two words again. What did you just say?
Oh, the building inside the arena, it was moist and sticky.
So the name of the building is Moist and Sticky. All right, that's disgusting.
It was moist and sticky inside the historic Davis Arena.
Wait, what did you say? Continue on. Go ahead.
But it was a packed house. We were sold out. We actually had to turn some people out the door because
that's huge.
Packed. We had to have some chairs pulled from the locker room to accommodate the seating. It was hot crowd. We had our sponsor of the Kentucky Heavyweight Championship Tournament, Country Boy Brewing. We had a lot of the owner and the sponsors of Country Boy Brewing in the house. They were out there cheering as well. We had our OVW regulars in attendance and a lot of new faces. Definitely getting the word out there about OVW, and we got tremendous matches, including, of course, our pal Cal Hero had
kid with the fanny pack.
Yeah, he had a Country Boy Brewing tournament match for the Kentucky Heavyweight Championship against his nemesis Tony Gunn. We also had some representation from Wisconsin, not just from Cal, but from myself as well. Got to do a little backstage stuff. Got to hand out the titles to the National Heavyweight Championship match. We had the return of the Pope. I had his NWA.
Was he pimping?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
He I made, he demanded I grab his NWA TV championship title from the match. He had a match against Jesse Goddard for the OVW, the National Heavyweight Championship. So we had a dual belt thing going on there. And then, of course, the main event, Chained Carnage for the OVW Heavyweight Championship match, where the ropes around the ring were replaced with chains.
Oh,
we had the defending champion from the Legacy of Brutality, Cash Flow, against former champion Omar Amir. And Meathead, we got some color in the ring. We got some blood.
Well, I mean, the ropes weren't roped anymore; they were chains.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, some carnage, some brutality. I was right there at ringside as well, and it was quite a sight to see. If you didn't catch it on pay-per-view, you missed out. But still go to Fight TV and ovwrestling.com. Still have your chance to catch Chained Carnage if you missed it. It was tremendous.
So here's the big news that I heard out of all of that. One, pushing away people at the door. The house was packed. Sold the house, right? That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 2, PPV, buys, Fight TV and everywhere else you were getting it. OVW is moving. They are blowing up, and you're going along for the ride. And our pal Cal, the kid with the fanny pack. One of these days I'll say fanny pack kid the right way, but I just like saying the kid, with the fanny pack.
Right. Well, that's how we know Cal.
Yeah, and that's how we know Cal. Apparently, his stats are out there, too. There's a website collecting stats on everybody in the wrestling business. I was a little shocked to see the Cal Heroes professional wrestling stats were out there as well. Hey, you know what else is kind of a shock? Is the fact that not everybody knows about our sponsor. Linda, who's the sponsor today?
Our sponsor is Collar and Elbow. want to give a special shout out to Collar and Elbow again, putting out a post this week when I was announcing I was wearing one of the shirts, and they captioned it, "When you see someone else wearing collar and elbow." It was when I was pointing out to the crowd. So a little special.
You sure you weren't
there.
pointing at the spot in the building that needed to be cleaned because it was moist and sticky, like you just said?
Perhaps.
That spot right there.
Mm-hmm. Well, make sure to go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Check out the latest and greatest in wrestling street fashions. It is summertime. Got some good brother summer tank tops. We've got some, of course, comfortable men's and women's t-shirts, caps.
The 4th is coming up within a couple days here. Maybe you can get yourself some 4th of July stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Check out the summer sale, collarandelbowbrand.com. And to save yourself 10% off your order, use promo code LindaK. That's LINDAKAY.
Well, Linda, that's a big weekend from down in the OV Dub, the Ville, as the kids are saying. But let's talk about the big weekend of wrestling that we had from WWE and from AEW. The final preemption of Dynamite happened this last weekend. But first, let's talk about a man that is probably the hardest working man in the professional wrestling business, Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He was found, pictures were taken outside of wrestling business. Apparently, he's a big fan of Mr. Dave Chappelle. Taking in a show, it looked like Stephanie's in the background in the picture. We got to assume Hunter is there as well. The McMahon family checking out Dave.
Yeah, who doesn't love Dave Chappelle?
I love Dave Chappelle.
Oh, so funny, fantastic. And, we're seeing Dave Chappelle pop out also. Remember, you saw that when he came on stage and sang Radiohead with Foo Fighters just recently?
That's right. Actually, he was singing Creep, I think, by Radiohead.
Yeah. But he's, mixing and mingling, if you will, within the music
business. I believe Dave is lined up for one night or two nights at Summerfest this year.
I believe one night. But, seeing Vincent Kennedy McMahon outside of the wrestling world, that's unique. That's rare.
That is absolutely rare. Almost as rare as a Raw or a SmackDown that we enjoyed. Just kidding, folks. Let's talk about AEW first, and we'll circle back to SmackDown. All Elite Wrestling aired Dynamite on Saturday night, and they're going to be back again this Wednesday night. But for the last time, preempted because of the NBA playoffs. By the way, Bucks up 2-1 in the Eastern Conference Finals. We can go another 20 minutes on that, but Milwaukee. So, All Elite Wrestling, I got to tell you, the reason why we're starting with this is because the way they set design this entire thing, with the sun still being up, with the crowd being packed on the hard camera side, with the one entrance, this is the only wrestling setup, the only entrance ramp stage setup that I think the high elevated ramp works. This looks beautiful.
Yeah, it was very reminiscent to the Double or Nothing weekend.
Absolutely was.
Hot crowd as well. I mean, that was the trend this weekend, apparently. But yeah, it did look great. And, it being Saturday Night Dynamite, a little something extra there.
Yeah, the show looked great. I mean, let's just talk about it again. And Matthew and I have talked about this. I think you've brought it up as well. The opener, one more time. This is a guy that is on the team they call Meatheads. He is the future AEW heavyweight champion. Hangman Adam Page opening up the show against Powerhouse Hobbs. Team Taz taking the first match. Taz going to commentary, asking them, why is Team Taz going solo? I got to tell you, there was something, and again, I'm going to blow it now because JR said it, and it was the funniest thing. If you have it on DVR, go back and watch this, or even go back, in the archives on YouTube or whatever. JR said it's time to get this shiznit going. Jim Ross said shiznit. Yeah.
I mean, he's had many great quotes over the years, and that's another one. Let's add that to the tally.
And again, he delivers it in such a deadpan style. It's just fantastic. Really, what happened here was during the match, Absolute Ricky Starks, Hook, and then Brian Cage comes out, takes his belt back from Team Taz. They're all sent to the back. The winner of the match, Hangman Adam Page. They threw him 2 beers. 1 beer goes to the crowd. 1 beer for Hangman Adam Page. I'm telling you, folks, hear it. Hear me say it. Hear Matthew say it. Hear Linda say it. Hangman Adam Page is probably going to be the guy that takes it from Kenny Omega.
Yeah, it sure looks that way. And given their history, I mean, that's pretty much, I would say, what everybody wants.
Super hot way to start off the show, as a matter of fact. Um, Matt Seidel took on Dante Martin. A lot of just back and forth. It was kind of weird. It ended up being Christian Cage, talking about Matt Hardy. Christian Cage talking to Jungle Boy in the back. Christian Cage right now is the Rock to his Christian Cage. So if Jungle Boy is Christian Cage, Christian Cage is the Rock. Remember where he gave him that bump, that Captain Charisma bump that finally put the Rocket on his back as a singles competitor after Edge wanted to go off and be solo.
Yeah.
Christian
Yeah,
Cage is that mentor that Jungle Boy needs.
absolutely. Bringing in Christian to AEW, featured at first as a talent. I think all of us knew his other role, which was helping elevate the other up and comers, and
Sure.
just pairing him with Jungle Boy, who already has so much momentum his way. I think is a wonderful pairing, and the two of them, let's get them in some matches together too. Why not?
So Road Rager, July 7th in Miami is, I believe, when AEW is finally going to hit the road, which is not this Wednesday, but next week Wednesday. July 7th, Miami, Road Rager. Darby Allin has been challenged by All Ego Ethan Page for a coffin match. Your thoughts on Darby Allin and Ethan Page in a coffin match?
Well, little flashback. Well, to the casket match. We're just gonna make it a coffin match. But I love it. Let's have more stipulations. Have something more
Reasons,
daring. I'm sorry,
right.
what?
Reasons. Have reasons for matches. Have
Right.
reasons for angles, reasons for matches, and reasons why they're competing.
And yeah, and Darby Allin brings so much to each and every one of his matches. Having a special stipulation here. I mean, we already know the storyline, the background between him and Ethan Page. Having a coffin match would be the right way to pretend to hopefully end this feud. I don't, not in a, because I want it to end because it's not
Right.
going
Because
good.
right
But
now, I think we're doing fine with it. I really do.
yeah, no, it's great. But we've got a little bit of time here to uh, dig in a little bit more
Hmm.
into this coffin match, and I'm looking forward to it.
So the Galaxy's greatest alien, Chris Statlander, obviously coming out with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. The reason the best friends Trent and Chuck are not there is Trent just had surgery and Chuck is at his side, taking on the Bunny with the blade. A big attack at the end. TH2 ran down and beat down Orange Cassidy. I sent a message to the group chat that we have between you and Matthew and myself. That face of Orange Cassidy when he got knocked out with the brass knuckles Superman punch. Holy smokes, that's a face only a mother could love.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. I'm just thinking back at it. Yeah, that was a great screenshot you got for us. Orange Cassidy, and we always, we've gone back and forth, and how long can this gimmick, this character go, and they're proving that we can keep rolling with it on and on with different competitors. Orange Cassidy's killing it.
He's killing it. The main event was Kenny Omega, obviously with Don Callis and the Good Brothers, taking on the number one contender, Jungle Boy, with Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt technically gets them kicked out, but then they kick out the Good Brothers as well. You knew that there was going to be more shenanigans at the end here. The winner of the match, I don't think this was ever going to be in doubt, was Kenny Omega, the god of pro wrestling, as I've said many times, yelling Don Callis from the commentary booth. So, the Young Bucks help Kenny Omega celebrate his victory. Dynamite goes off the air. I really do believe that this was an amazing night of wrestling. We didn't even talk about it. I accidentally skipped over it. There was a tag team match earlier. It was, Eddie Kingston and the Bastard Pack on Dynamite. Oh, I'm sorry. The Bucks will take on Kingston and Pack on Dynamite next week. But Conan face to face with Tully Blanchard. The setup where he says, "I got my boy Santana Ortiz," and they came out dressed as LAX members, and he goes, "Look up on the screen," and you've got LAX laid out. Santana Ortiz or
Mm.
Proud and Beautiful, and then you find out it's FTR. They beat the crap out of Conan.
Yeah, let's again add more fuel to the fire. I love how we're getting the different matches branched out between both factions, and bringing in, involving legends like Conan and Tully Blanchard into this even better.
Let's talk SmackDown real quick before we get going today.
I've
Linda
got some
Kay.
good news
Yeah,
about
give me some good
SmackDown.
news. Make it good first.
Well, we thought that KO, Kevin Owens KO, by the way, Matthew Tyler.
Yes, not Kenny Omega.
Kevin Owens, we thought he would be gone for a while, but we learned
He'll be
on
back next week.
SmackDown, yes, the recently drafted Kevin Owens to Team Longtime.
Yes.
Looks to be returning back in ring this week against his nemesis, Sami Zayn. But hey, if he pulls off this win, which is going to be a last man standing match, so that should be a tremendous match.
Right.
He'll get a spot in Money in the Bank.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
I
was thinking.
I love watching. I love watching Kenny. Right. I love watching. I love watching Sammy work too.
Yes.
We've had enough. I mean, this will be another great match, but I've had enough.
Well, I mean, that's why Adam Pearce has made this a last man standing match, so it makes it, a little bit more interesting.
So let me ask you this, and I kind of mentioned this before we went on the air. We're going to now start looking at this and counting how many people have multiple segments on TV. They've fired so many people in this company that they're so thin. They're thinner than they were COVID area.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, how many people? I mean, in the first 45 minutes, we had two segments: a Roman Reigns / Jimmy Uso segment, and we had the mixed gender match. That's literally the state of business right now in WWE. This company's setting themselves up to be sold. You know it, I know it, American people know it. I'm not quite sure how the wrestlers can build up the muster to want to work because, I mean, everybody's probably assuming that their jobs are on the line.
Yeah, or I guess
it's hard to watch it like that.
Yeah, or maybe you can flip it the other way, where if they are worried that they could potentially lose their spot, that they might work a little harder or take advantage of their numerous appearances in the episodes.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about what happened on SmackDown on Friday night. Bayley and Seth Rollins defeated Bianca Belair and Cesaro in a mixed tag team match. This just went on. I like Bianca still being champion. Okay, I've been asking this for 7-8 months. I don't know how long it's been, but I've been asking this since before Bianca won the Royal Rumble. What is special about Bianca? Why is she the EST? Okay, now she's the EST because she's a champion. I need more. I got to have more. Bayley seems to be carrying this. Seth Rollins and Cesaro, I think, are evenly matched, but if we were doing this segment in, say, the Attitude Era, and I know we're not in the Attitude Era anymore, this would be an opening match segment. I mean, and this is basically the co-main event, because when you look at TV, if it's a 2-hour show like SmackDown, the end of the first hour going into the second hour and the end of the second hour are the co-main events every time, right? That's your two big storylines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the co-main event, this story.
Yeah.
This would be opening card stuff.
Well,
I'm sorry, I sound negative, and I'm trying not to be, but I'm also calling it like I see it.
Right. Gosh, I mean, kicking it off with the champion, that does make sense, but
yeah,
I do feel that it is taking up a lot of the time, which you mentioned the Attitude Era before. Raw would kick off 20 minutes.
Maybe a 15-20 minute interview segment, or
right,
something.
just in-ring confrontations.
But with main eventers,
yeah,
and multiple main eventers.
Well, you said that, they're getting spread thin and
too thin.
Having to do.
I mean, it's like Swiss cheese. I mean, there's way too many holes. I'm waiting for where's the rest of the Swiss. I mean, I know you got the cheese here, but where's my Swiss? I mean, there's holes in this thing.
Well, maybe just giving us extra, a little extra dose, if you will, of their current stars will, kind of prime up the audience who will be seeing the product on tour very soon, getting
Yes.
fans more familiar, whether you have your fair weather fans like us or new ones, especially
Right.
the new audience, just from
And
WWE
honestly,
being more mainstream. Yeah.
if I were Fox Television right now, I'd be pissed at what they're putting on my TV.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows what's going on internally? When this
Right.
partnership
We don't.
started,
We're not
there
there. I
was,
mean, we just
yeah.
give opinions,
Maybe
right?
maybe they are happy with the product. If they're happy
Because it's
with,
always about money. It's not about
yes,
stuff. It's
Roman
about money.
Reigns being the dominant one on the brand, he is the man of the brand. Maybe that's already just making them happy enough.
Yeah, you never know. All right, so let's talk about the coronation of Kinsh. It's supposed to be Shinsuke Nakamura, but it's Kinshe. Boy, oh boy. Throwing the king in there in the beginning. Kinshe Nakamura is it's going to take some time to say it. The Rick Boogs,
That's
dude,
like
it's
Team Nelson Mandela, Team
yeah.
Matt Damien. You know,
I'll tell you though, that Rick Boogs is so over the top. It's entertaining to me,
yeah.
and
He's also a rocker, which
we can
we're
tell
both
he's playing.
rock fans.
Yeah, and we're rockers. I mean, that's what we are. So we can tell he's playing. He's not playing all of it. He's got backing tracks, but he is playing some of it. So I'm more entertained actually by the spinning table that had the crown on it. I want to talk about King Corbin though, or Baron Corbin now. Seriously, I think he's not crying about the crown. I think he's crying about SmackDown. Going, dude, the show is so bad. I'm not even on it.
I still think this is a better storyline than the dog food.
Way better than dog food. Way better.
But it's he must be just putting some great work in, just to the company as a whole. He's getting the continuous storylines, and we know he's a great worker, and we know he's very talented, and
very talented.
I think we just want to see him get past this, because where he's kind of like stuck. Maybe we make him a face.
He's the epitome of what's going on SmackDown. He's the poster child for it right now. Yeah. In this big gap of what's going on TV, we do have an emerging star in Apollo Crews, who's already a star, getting bigger, and King Aziz and Big E back again, going after Apollo Crews. Big E defeats Apollo Crews to qualify for the Money in the Bank. So Big E moving on to Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I think both men are very talented. I do like. I mean, we did get a taste of what we thought would have been a feud between Big E and Aleister Black before Aleister Black was released, but bringing back Apollo Crews and Big E makes sense. They had another tremendous match on SmackDown, and even though Big E won the spot for Money in the Bank, as you just mentioned, Apollo Crews just becoming more of a star, having Commander Aziz. I am now thinking who would be his next nemesis, competitor, if you will, for the Intercontinental title.
And you think it's KO, Kevin Owens, huh?
You would think so. I mean, I guess.
I thought he was taking some time off.
Well, here's the thing, though. But if Big E and KO, if Kevin Owens does win, they're both going to be Money in the Bank. So I feel like would it be Sami Zayn? I don't know. We'll see. But Apollo Crews, I do agree. He's just getting better and better, and I'm definitely enjoying this new Apollo.
Carmella was named to the Money in Bank ladder match without even winning a match. Sonya Deville put Carmella in there.
Because she's the most beautiful woman in all of WWE.
Well, that's why she's in the match, apparently. She is a former winner.
Yes.
Two-time winner, actually.
She won.
Yeah. She won the briefcase twice in 1 year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what was his name?
I was just
James Ellsworth.
She still won technically.
Yeah, she did. Jimmy Uso defeats Dolph Ziggler. Jey Uso refusing to come back to work. Jimmy is now taking over the spot as the right-hand man to his cousin. And after he got zigzagged, Jimmy fought back to overcome the former world heavyweight champion with the super kick. Now, the main event story, which is with your main events, head of the table, Roman Reigns comes out with Paul Heyman, and they say, look, there's no one else. We thought this should happen after WrestleMania, at WrestleMania Backlash. We got it 2 pay-per-views later, and that's okay, because now, one-on-one, the returning Edge will be going against Roman Reigns. I have one bone to pick in this otherwise show-saving segment.
Okay.
When Edge stares at the hard camera and goes, "Where are you, Roman Reigns? Where are you?" Dude, he's on the stage. Just turn right. Why are you yelling at the camera? If you want him, he's only 100 feet away. Stop yelling at the camera saying, "Where are you?" You know damn well he's over on the stage. It made no sense.
Yeah, perhaps the miscue, maybe it should have been like Roman, Heyman, get off the stage.
Right.
I had to watch that segment back because I was like, did they run? Did they hide it? They left Jim Uso in the ring to deal with Edge. But then I did see them still on the ramp. I'm like, okay. But you know what?
Like I said, one bone to pick in an
Despite,
otherwise show-saving segment.
Right. That was a shock for me, a surprise that I thoroughly enjoyed, as you and I have said leading up to WrestleMania. I think we both agreed that it would have been, or we were looking more forward to a one-on-one match between Roman Reigns and Edge at Mania. And as you just said, we are finally going to get it. Why not have it be at Money in the Bank?
I think he's the most credible competitor that Roman Reigns is
Yes.
going to have his entire run.
Yeah, I did like, though, Heyman mentioning everybody that has tried for the Universal title since Roman had it coming back last year, and that was quite a list, and some names that you may have forgotten the feud with Roman, but he's just dominated every time. And
Yeah,
comes Edge, so now it kind of gets you thinking, like, could Roman actually hold this title for another full year leading up to Mania?
another full year? No, he's going to lose it before Mania next year. However, Edge, I don't think is the one. Even though, if you go back to the PWR draft, not from this year, but from last year when we had Damian and Dave and Drew in it, Drew had said the reason why he took Edge is in his return, he may not be a champion now, but within the next year, he'll be a champion and he'll win the Royal Rumble. He ended up winning the Royal Rumble. However, I don't think Edge is going to be champion yet, but I do think in this return, there is another title reign for Edge.
I hope so. I mean, he had his miraculous return and winning the Rumble and just being at his age and his accolades. This has to happen for him again. And so you're thinking maybe at Money in the Bank?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure, but, we'll have to see. So, SmackDown, like I said, honestly, it was a chore to watch the first hour 45, hour 50.
Well, hey,
But
we got Edge
that
back.
song
Edge
by
and
Alter
Roman.
Bridge pops me every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Happy to have Edge back.
Happy to have Edge back. All right. Tonight we got Raw. We have 3 hours of Raw. I remember doing the shows, the PWR Today's Tuesday mornings with Dave, the Tiberius, the Zohan hero. And he said that he was having a hard time watching these two. And I tried to be the counter, right? Like you did for me tonight, or this morning, excuse me. Thank you for trying to be the positive, the light, in the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
We have a triple threat tonight between Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles. That's a main event. That will be my light in the otherwise darkness. That'll be 3 hours of Raw.
Yeah. I think there'll be lots of segments with them backstage leading up, but those three superstars in one match is pay-per-view worthy. And we know the stipulation, it being this is the second chance match at Money in the Bank. I forgot the exact term for it, but
I think it's a second chance Money in the Bank qualifier.
yes.
And Drew McIntyre cannot challenge Bobby Lashley at all while he is champion.
So Drew's not winning.
Drew's not winning.
Well, no. I mean,
and to be honest, I think Drew is going to be moving to SmackDown when the draft comes up.
Oh, okay. And then Daniel Bryan will pop up on Raw?
Possibly.
Okay. But this doesn't necessarily mean Drew won't win because he can hold on to that briefcase all year. I mean, as long as Bobby Lashley isn't champion. I mean, if he ever loses it, I guess.
Right.
So
I think
he could still win.
You know what? I think I heard it from Matthew, and I might have heard it from you, but I think the storyline win is to have Randy Orton win it. And then go to Money in the Bank and have RK Bro in the match.
Yeah. Yeah, because AJ and Omos are still the tag champs. He doesn't necessarily need to have his, spot for Money in the Bank. And then Drew McIntyre, he's still top dog. No, I mean, sorry, that's Roman Reigns. But, you catch my drift.
I do. Well, hey, that was a lot of wrestling talk, and we didn't even cover all of it. Tonight, we got Raw. Tomorrow morning, I believe it's Matthew Thomas again. I want you to go rest those pipes. Thanks for jumping in on this Monday morning. I know that you are a road warrior, no pun intended, and you're weary and you're going to be hitting the road again this weekend. Watch out for a kid with a fanny pack. He's out on that road too, apparently. So,
Yeah.
whew. I love seeing you guys blow up. I really do. This is fantastic. Go out there and go get it.
Thank you, Meathead. It's been and still is going a tremendous ride that we will just keep on going and going.
And how about them Bucks too? But that's another story for another day. So for Linda Kay, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Talk to you tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.